I returned home from work at the usual hour. My wife Maria was ironing one of her cocktail dresses that had been hanging in our closet for the past 6 years, thinking we had plans for the evening. I felt happy, knowing she always looked very attractive when we went out, and the jealous glances from other men always excited me. She was with me, and they could only watch. Maria's dark complexion, being the daughter of Mexican immigrants, and her deep brown eyes always thrilled me. Her long, wavy hair and slender, athletic physique made her an incredible sight. She had participated in the crew team in college and still maintained a muscular build, although the sharpness of her muscles had somewhat diminished lately as she had been doing more running and aerobics than rowing. Before I could inquire about our evening plans, Maria shifted the conversation. "You'll never guess who I ran into today," she said without pausing. "Anthony." "Anthony," I said, trying to recall the name. Finally, the only Anthony that came to mind was Anthony, her boyfriend during the last 2 years of high school. I had never met him, having met Maria in college, but I had heard about him. Yes, can you believe it? Out of nowhere, after all these years. He's a regional representative for a pharmaceutical company and visits this area every other Wednesday to meet with some doctors in our building. "Isn't that incredible?" she said. Maria had communicated with Anthony before he visited her at the office on a day she had to stay late. Learning about Maria's meeting with Anthony filled me with unease. Anthony had offered her to have dinner, and she had thoughtlessly accepted. The idea of her having dinner alone with him did not sit well with me. However, it was a special situation, and I was prepared to cope with it to make her happy. "I'm sorry, dear. Not all of us, just him and me," she said, making me feel something was amiss. As I grappled with the discomfort this meeting caused, my suspicions grew with the events at an office party. When I attended the party at her office, I realized her late work hours were a pretext for meeting Anthony. My conversation with Sheila, an office manager, opened my eyes. This revelation shook my trust in Maria, creating an emptiness within me. Finally, on a Thursday, I waited outside Maria's office building in a friend's car and saw her and Anthony, hand in hand, leaving the lobby for a hotel. That was the final straw for me. When Maria returned home, I told her we needed to talk. I showed her the photos I had taken and the divorce papers. Maria pleaded, "No, Henry, please. It was nothing. Just a simple, was it a mistake or something else? Regardless, I love you. Can I fix this?" But it was too late for me. I had truly loved Maria, but I could no longer be with her. 4 months after our divorce, Maria transferred to another office and started living with Anthony. I focused on my work, received a good bonus, and got in line for a promotion. I still missed Maria, knowing I could never be with her again. She had always been the most beautiful woman in the world to me, but how could I stay with her after everything that had happened? About a year later, Maria sent me a message asking if we could meet for a drink. We met at a small bar, and I noticed she had lost weight. She was still beautiful, but in a different way. I greeted her warmly and hugged her gently. Maria said, "We're not together anymore, he cheated on me." This was ironic to me. Anthony's journey had not only ended with me, but had continued at many other stops, eventually leading to the dissatisfaction of several husbands. During this time, I met Renee at a social event organized by a friend. Renee's warmth and sincerity provided me with the support I needed to overcome the pains of the past. We quickly grew close. Our relationship developed through shared interests and deep connections. Renee helped me understand the hurts I had experienced, and I learned to trust her and move past my history. When we met Maria, Renee entered the bar in a blue knee-length dress and approached our table. Maria was taken aback when she learned Renee was my fiancé and hoped that perhaps there was a chance for us after some time had passed. But when she saw the engagement ring on Renee's finger, her hopes were dashed. Renee said, "I'm sorry, Maria, you had hoped to win Henry back, but he's engaged to me." Maria was deeply saddened when she learned about our relationship and wished us happiness. After Maria left, Renee and I spent the night together, celebrating our future and the bond we shared. Maria's story illustrated the consequences of wrong decisions and chasing a love from the past.